Well, we have some really special guests today that are actually sitting right outside Uluru. You might not believe me, but I promise you it is absolutely true. Brent and Molly arrived into our gorgeous Red Centre only just a couple of days ago. And while we can't have Uluru in the background, because it is rather windy and quite fly blown out there at the moment, we really appreciate their time and being able to have a conversation about their most extraordinary trip along the Savannah Way, finishing up, of course, in the Red Centre. Welcome, welcome, Molly and Brent.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
No, thank you for joining us, because I think there's nothing more exciting than hearing somebody's journeys, and being that you quite literally are smack bang in the middle of your journey around Australia. I think it's exceptional to be able to get your time and to talk about it. But the Savannah Way is certainly one of those most iconic journeys across Australia, starting, of course, in the Cairns region and finishing up in the Red Centre. Oh, I've got to fly here now. So there you go. I'm getting the Red Centre back here. I think that trip sounds so fantastic. So please, let's get started. I want to hear all about it. Where was your beginning of the Savannah Way?
So we left Cairns, I think it was around start of October, and we decided to head straight to the Atherton Tablelands. We'd heard so much amazing stuff about it that I wanted to go waterfall hopping and seeing every single waterfall, but
to be honest, I didn't really know much about it.
Yeah.
And I didn't really do too much research about it.
I do the research.
And Molly, for weeks, she was just banging on about the Savannah Way and how amazing it would be. And I kind of just had this image in my head, and it wasn't what it actually was. And once we started on the Savannah Way, it was actually quite amazing. Obviously, starting with the Tablelands, wasn't it?
So yeah, it was just like beautiful, lush green mountains, just waterfalls. It was cold. It was really cold.
The day that we left Cairns, it was roughly about anywhere from 35 to 40 degrees. And we drove to
I think it was 12
Atherton,
overnight.
And it just dropped massively. And we went from wearing barely any clothes
to Kathmandu.
We had our Kathmandus on, and the last time we wore those was down in Melbourne in the Mornington Peninsula. So it was a big shock for us to sort of hit somewhere so close to Cairns. I mean, it's not that far of a drive, and all of a sudden the temperature just dropped. But it was a beautiful place. One of the, probably my favorite was the windmills.
Yes.
So the massive windmills that you can see out there, and you can
windmill farm. It's called.
Yeah, it's just a windmill farm, and you can get up close and personal with these massive windmills. And we were able to take the van up on a little hill and get a really cool drone shot with the windmills, which was awesome.
It was awesome.
That's incredible. You just don't see that kind of landscape everywhere. And I actually know the picture that you're talking about, because I've been following you very closely on your social media. And for guys out there that are following them, please do. You'll be entirely inspired by their travel, and their photographs are amazing. Lifestyle Hustlers is the social that you're going to need. I loved that one. But didn't your drone go for a little bit of an excursion there?
It was very windy, very windy, and I had no control over it, and we almost lost it. We've almost lost it a few times actually on the Savannah Way, but we've still got it. Yeah, he's still working, still kicking.
We might need a new one.
We might need a new one. He's a bit banged up, but you know, that's the joys of what we do, I guess.
Oh, that is super cool. I would love to see that. And it must have been just really entirely gorgeous on the Atherton Tablelands. But Molly, did you get to those waterfalls that you were hoping to get to?
We did. We got to Milla and we got to Malanda. We also went down to Davies Creek. That was beautiful. They had this little swing. Maddie, our daughter, she's only 4, almost 5, and she was on the swing jumping into the creek, and you were too a little bit. So that was beautiful as well. That was just down near the top end, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly where it was, but it was amazing up there.
Oh, that's
water. Yeah.
Oh God,
But
me
that's
too.
old
I
school.
absolutely love it. But at least Maddie got in and enjoyed it, and Brent got in for a little bit. But swinging off a swing into a natural water hole is just like, that's living right there. Hey, that's adventuring. Couldn't be better. So what happened next?
So after that, we went up to.
We do have some notes here, guys, because we wanted to jam pack with the whole trip. And for anyone that has done some traveling, especially me,
I forget where you are.
I forget. Sometimes I forget where I actually am right here, right now. Like,
or what day it is.
I probably wouldn't right now, considering where we are. But
you just got to look out the window. But still, I get it.
That's it. So we went to
Undara, the lava tubes.
They have the lava tubes there, which that was one of the most amazing tours that we have ever been on. So much history, so much. I mean, it's just breathtaking going into these massive holes in the ground that have been formed, obviously, by lava millions of years ago.
And what an excursion it was for our daughter. Like, she was just like, because obviously she watches YouTube and the floor is lava, that funny thing that kids do. But she the whole time was like, Mummy, is this actually real lava? We're like, yeah, babe, it was. Like, it was just so educational for her as well. And Kobe loved it, didn't they? All the bats in the caves, and it was amazing.
It was.
That's awesome. It is an education, isn't it? Travel, travel overseas, but even so in our own backyard. Look at that. What a great, you couldn't get a better school excursion on the road. Fantastic.
They are learning so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And Paul has just made quite a funny little comment, and I know what he's referring to. He says, obviously no spiders there, Brent.
I do have,
thanks, Paulie.
I do have arachnophobia, I think. I've always been scared of spiders. Molly kills the spiders in the relationship, and that's just how it is, I guess.
Oh, that's funny. That's very funny. And I know, because you guys do keep a lot of your journals, by video, and you do share those on your YouTube channel. So if anybody wants to know what we're referring to when it comes to the spiders, you really must go back and have a look at that. But let's continue on this journey. I'm loving it.
After that, we hit Mount Surprise, which was
a big surprise.
It was a big surprise. So there we basically did a day trip out to Copperfield Gorge.
That's free to do that, actually.
Yeah, that's free to do that. That was amazing. We actually went for a swim there as well. That was our first swim in a gorge.
Yeah, ever.
Molly is a little bit paranoid about.
He's for spiders. I don't like water.
Yeah, Molly doesn't like water. So
water, I can't see the bottom.
Especially murky water that potentially there could be some freshwater crocs.
And then we found out there was crocs. So
that was absolutely amazing. We had lunch at a place called the Ainsley Pub, and I really wanted to throw this in because we love, obviously, going from place to place and experiencing the bakeries and all the finer things that you do when you travel.
And stuff.
I had probably one of the best crumb steaks that I've ever had at the Ainsley Pub. It was absolutely amazing. So I wanted to give them a shout out too, because if you're ever near the Copperfield Gorge, go for a swim and then go there for lunch to the pub, and you will have the best crumb steak ever.
Well, you've heard it here, the best crumb steak ever. We know where to go. Perfect. I love that.
So after Mount Surprise, we decided to check out Georgetown. We drove through Georgetown on a Sunday, so it was really, really quiet. Nothing was open. And I think we filled up with fuel, and then we just thought, well, let's
got some supplies, and then we decided just to keep going to Cobbold Gorge. So we phoned them.
We phoned them and booked it. We couldn't actually get on the tour for 3 days. This was the Sunday, and we got on the Tuesday afternoon. So we decided we'll do 3 nights there. And honestly, we were so happy that we did. It was just breathtaking. Those photos that we got there, oh my gosh, I think that was the best place I've been. I loved it.
Cobbold?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I loved it.
The road out there, I do recommend to let your tires down if you're towing a pretty big van. So as soon as we basically hit the dirt, it was corrugation most of the way. So we had to let our tires down. There wasn't any damage on that road to the van. It's a pretty good road. You just got to obviously drive to conditions. But once we did get to Cobalt Gorge, we were just absolutely blown away. You basically drive in and there's an infinity pool straight away overlooking a lake.
You can actually, it was a dam. When the dam's full, you can, putt your mini golf into the dam.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like a little driving.
Into the dam, which is cool. There's a swim up bar.
And there's birds and kangaroos and everything, drinking water at the lake, and you're just sitting there on this infinity pool and outlooking the outback, and it's just absolutely amazing.
But then you've got the tour. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We learnt so much that day. It's a big bush walk at the start. I think it was about a 2-kilometer walk, and it took about an hour and 15 because you stop along the way and you learn all about the different nature and bush foods and what's safe and what's not safe, what's poisonous, what's not. And then, you go through the gorge, and it was amazing. They've got that new glass bottom bridge that you walk over, and I'm petrified of swinging bridges. Again, that's another fear. But this was just incredible. You've got to put these little blue socks on so you don't scratch the glass, and you walk over, and the boat from the other group's going underneath while you're walking over, and it was just magical. I loved it.
It was amazing.
And then you go on the boat afterwards.
Yeah, it was absolutely
amazing. So cool. And I did not know that existed. That's amazing. I really didn't. So Cobalt is what you said. How far from the Atherton Tablelands would you say you are now, kilometres wise, approximately?
I would say halfway. From at the top of Queensland, you're pretty much halfway. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, right.
Kilometre wise, what do you reckon?
Oh, geez.
I think it would be maybe a 6-7 hour drive from Tablelands.
It'd be 500-600 kilometres at least.
We're looking up on our map.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, massive map up here that we've marked off.
Mark where we go.
But yeah, look, it was absolutely amazing. A little tip for people with a caravan as well. There's no dump point there.
Oh, yeah.
So the closest dump point is actually in Forsyth, which is roughly about 30 minutes back towards Georgetown. So just a little hot tip.
Well, we thought we were going to Georgetown, so we didn't worry about emptying the dump point, and we had to drive at 7 a.m. the next morning and go to Forsyth. Funny, wasn't it?
I like to leave things to the last minute, unfortunately.
So that would have been lovely.
Yeah.
Good hint, good tip.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then?
So, after Cobalt, we went to drive through Croydon. We were going to stay at Croydon. The main reason I wanted to go to Croydon was because they have that amazing True Blue sign. Have you seen that?
Yes,
You have to check it out.
So that's at the info centre.
The info centre, it's this huge big statue sign, and there's like mechanical trains, wasn't there?
Yeah, like mechanical kangaroos
and stuff at the info centre. And Croydon's beautiful. It's a very old town. They've got a lot of heritage buildings that are still there. I think there was 2 caravan parks there, or 1?
I think there was 2.
Yeah, so we decided to keep going. I just wanted that photo, and that was it. So then we then drove through Normanton. I think we stopped at that bakery. They had an amazing coffee and vanilla slice.
Amazing bakery in Normanton.
Yeah, everyone raves about.
We didn't stay there though.
Yeah. We didn't stay there. We then decided to keep going up to Corumba, and Corumba, we were there for I think 3 nights.
3 nights.
We?
Yeah, Corumba.
We stayed at the Sunset Caravan Park near the pub. It was
Corumba's just a little fishing town.
Yeah.
So there's not really much there, but it is such an amazing little town with an awesome little pub. I got to do some fishing. The kids, what's up?
And run through a field of locusts.
Look,
That's on our YouTube.
when you're there.
I do it for the people, right? Anytime we can, look, we just like to have a laugh, and anytime that there's something that we can have a laugh doing, we do it. So I ran through a field of locusts, just facing fears.
Big grasshoppers, like massive ones.
I've never seen anything like it before. There was
hundreds.
There was thousands of them. Thousands.
Yeah.
So look, what better way to show people than to experience it firsthand running through. So
it was hilarious. So funny.
There is also a barra center there, so you can basically, it's like a barra farm, a barramundi farm, which was very impressive as well. That was really cool.
And also at Corumba, everyone raves about the pub in Corumba. I think it's a Corumba Sunset Tavern or something.
Just on the
so it's on the water.
Yeah.
We unfortunately didn't. I said to Brent, "Come on, we need to go try this pub." And he's like, "We've got so much food here." I'm like, "No, we need to try the pub."
Well, we actually went to the butcher there, and it was an amazing butcher.
We ate the butcher
in Corumba, so we bought a heap of meat. So I was kind of like, "Well, we've got a heap of meat to eat, fresh meat. Let's eat that."
But yeah, everyone
people do rave
about
it.
Yeah.
So after Corumba, we went to Burketown.
Yeah.
Now, lots of Coro.
Lots of Coro.
Yeah.
And a long drive. I think it was about 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
To get there, all on mostly dirt. It was funny. We were all tense on the dirt road, and then all of a sudden there's bitumen, and we're both like, yeah. Friends got little hands.
With that dirt and corrugated roads, if somebody is traveling without pulling a van, maybe they've just got a four-wheel drive or a regular car, how are you thinking they'll cope with those roads?
Look, I think it just depends on the driver. Honestly, like, you can let your tires down. I mean, we ran at 28 psi for the car and the van. And we were doing, between say 40 and 60 kilometers an hour on certain bits. But look, if you've just got a four-wheel drive or a normal car and you've just got your tires let down, I mean, we did, obviously, when the van was unhitched, we did some sightseeing and we took the car on its own onto the road. And I mean, look, you just drive to the conditions, and you can practically get anywhere really. If you just do the right thing and be safe and look after your vehicle.
Definitely.
So,
well, that's good to know.
So Burketown, we drove through it. They've got a artesian bore there that you can check out. You can't swim because it's about 40 degrees up there, and the bore is about 60.
So
it's
hot.
So hot. But we were summer, obviously, going. But
we stayed at a place called Albert
River.
And it took about probably 15-20 minutes just outside of Burketown.
Yeah.
Once again, back on dirt. Yeah. And you can actually go and camp near the river, which was absolutely amazing. It is croc infested. So Molly was a bit tense the whole time. We basically had our awning out and probably about 3-4 meters away from the shoreline.
But we were up very high, so we were safe. They can't climb up to where you were, but there is lots of low banks along the river. But we decided, let's get a high bank.
Yeah.
But also at Burketown, we were very, very lucky to experience only a few times a year. I think it's between October to February, and only in, I think it's Burketown and Corumba and another spot in the world.
It's called the Morning
Glory clouds. Have you heard of that?
No, tell me about that.
So the Morning Glory clouds, I don't know the scientific reason as to why this happens, but it's basically a long strip of cloud that starts, say, on the east side
of the Gulf.
And then basically it's like it's rolling.
It was this huge big rumble, 60 k's an hour, and you could see the clouds rumbling all in this line. It was like, I don't know, and you were standing there, and then like you could see the strip, and then I turned around talking to Brent for a bit, getting some videos and stuff, and then all of a sudden it was above us, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to rain. Let's quickly go inside, because you could hear like thunder rolling.
So it basically starts off like a little strip, and then it spreads across you, so it's coming above you and it's spreading, and then it forms again like it did on the east side, but on the west side, and then it goes away.
It was just amazing,
and it was one of the most spectacular things that I've ever seen. And just if you guys just Google morning
Burnt Town
glory
morning glory clouds. You'll
cloud.
see it. Yeah.
It is so amazing,
Yeah.
and we were so grateful to see that. It was
An
That's
experience.
super cool.
Yeah.
Super cool. It's one of those natural phenomenons. Oh, I almost lost it. That you just get to see anywhere, it really is so special, and certainly to get out into Burketown and that region to experience it. Oh my goodness, that's for sure a bucket list moment, right?
Oh, it's just that wow moment.
Yeah.
And it's that unexpected wow moment that
Because we didn't know it was happening.
We didn't know. And then all of a sudden.
We saw all the cafes were called like Morning Glory Cafe. And we're like, what is this Morning Glory about? Like, Morning Glory. And we found out that that's what it was. And we were just blown away.
It was super impressive.
Yeah.
Super impressive.
Wow, that's cool. We'll definitely be Googling Morning Glory clouds in Burketown. That's super.
Just make sure you
put cloud
in.
Put clouds at the end of your Google search. That makes sense.
Yes, definitely. Now, after Burketown, we went to a lovely place called Adele's Grove.
At Lawn Hill.
At Lawn Hill.
Yeah.
Now,
amazing.
This road is probably one of the worst roads that we have ever been on.
So we came from Burketown across. A lot of people go Riversley up from Isa. So we came Burketown across. It was really bad.
So we had a lot of damage to the caravan.
Yep.
It's a very, very rocky, corrugated road. There's rocks of all shapes and sizes, and it's very, very sharp rocks as well. So we had a lot of damage to the van. We had a lot of stone chips on the front of the van. We had
two burst main water pipes.
Yeah, two burst.
The water going everywhere.
Yeah, we had one of our cupboard doors
came off. Everything was in the van. It was a mess everywhere.
We had a foot off our stabilizer leg on the caravan rattle off. So we lost a foot.
Our step going into the van all damaged. It's got rock chips all on it. Just completely damaged.
We got to Adele's Grove, and as much as it was an amazing place, we kind of spent a lot of time. Well, I spent a lot of time underneath the van, trying to kind of patch things up. And
especially because at Adele's Grove, they've only got gravity-fed water, so because we were losing so much water from our water tanks, we were stressing that we'd have no water getting there, and obviously being able to shower, because there's actually there's no power there, and it's just the gravity water. So we were a bit worried about what we're going to do for water.
Yeah, but amazing spot. We went for a swim. They've just got the best little water hole in Adele's Grove. One thing that I will say is we put pool noodles underneath our van and basically covered up all the piping. If we didn't have that, there would be burst pipes absolutely everywhere. So another little tip for you guys is to, if you don't have a fully off-road van, which they should be covered anyway, we've only got a semi off-road van, so we put a heap of pool noodles underneath and covered everything up. So
a beautiful place.
Awesome spot.
But we were going to stay there for 2 nights, but unfortunately because of the damage, we just wanted to get to Mount Isa and get it all fixed up and repaired, because we were just a bit worried about all that, weren't we?
It was.
So we just stayed for 1 night.
So from there we went to Mount Isa. Now, on the way to Mount Isa, we actually did 3 small river crossings, which was really cool in the van. It wasn't really deep. It was probably the deepest part was 2 foot. Obviously, getting closer to the wet season, it would rise a lot more. So you kind of want to be careful with driving, this time of the year and the next few months. All the creeks start to rise, and it would be a lot deeper.
There'd be more than 3 as well.
Yeah, definitely. So we went to Mount Isa, and then we stayed in Mount Isa. How long did we stay in Mount Isa for? 4 days?
4 nights.
4 nights. We had obviously a fair few repairs to do, so we decided to sort of bunker down in the caravan park there and get some repairs done. And obviously
we loved Isa. It was great.
Mount Isa was beautiful. It's so, I've never seen obviously a big mining town like that, and to have the mine
in the middle
so
of the
close
town,
to the CBD is just quite remarkable. We went up.
You can hear the big bangs all the time. And
it's cool. We went up to the
really cool.
There's a big lookout that you can go to, and a big silo that's painted in Mount Isa. It's really cool, and it overlooks the city and overlooks the mine as well. We didn't do it at nighttime, but someone, I can't remember who it was, someone said that if you go up there at nighttime, it's absolutely beautiful because you can see the mine all lit up and it just looks really cool. So you can go there for sunset and obviously stay a little bit longer and you can see the mine on all the lights, which is really cool. So
yeah, we didn't do too much sightseeing though in Isa. A lot of it was shut due to the end of the season and COVID. So unfortunately, and our kids were too young to do the underground mining tour. We couldn't do that. So yeah, we went out to that big lake. I forget what that name of the lake was. But that was nice. And we mainly just did a lot of repairs in Isa. We went out for dinner a few times.
Yeah.
Some amazing Indian food there. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
it was so good.
It was really good. We took the kids to the family fun park. It's like a little water park, a little free water park that they've got there. So that was really cool for the kids.
Really good park, yeah.
And yeah, just basically went to a few lookouts.
Yeah.
So from there, from Mount Isa, so we stayed there for about 4 or 5 days. We went to Camberwell.
Yeah, we did actually. Yep,
Camberwell.
Yeah.
Now that's basically just
the last town into Queensland, or from Queensland to Northern Territory.
Yeah. So we went and filled up fuel there. We were going to do the free camp. There's an awesome little free camp on the river in Camberwell, but it was a 40-degree day and it was so humid. And we drove down there and had a look. And as soon as I got out of the car, I just started
Couldn't
sweating.
Put the kids through it.
And I said to Molly, we're going to have a rough night if we stay here in full camp, obviously with no aircon. There's only so much these little fans in the caravan can do, and especially on a hot day and with 2 kids as well. So.
And also with free camps, Brent and I don't like to stay somewhere if there's no one else around us. So there was no one there, just for safety and everything. So we decided to keep going. We did check out, I think there was 2 caravan parks there as well, but we were just then itching to get across the border.
So we'll do that close.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So we hit the border.
Yep.
We actually printed off our border passes in Mount Isa. That was very easy to do.
Yeah.
Very simple, just basic information. Obviously,
it took like 4 minutes, didn't it?
Yeah.
Just write down all the places that we've been to.
Obviously things are starting to settle down now, and you know, borders are starting to probably become a little less stressful. So you know, it'll be interesting to see. And we crossed the border and into
Barclays
NT, and we went to Barclays Homestead Roadhouse. Which is
amazing place.
Absolutely amazing. As you roll in, there's cows just walking around the caravan park, and it was just beautiful.
The big roadhouse pub, like it's obviously the first pub going into the Northern Territory from Queensland, so pretty packed.
Well attended.
It was a lot of large drive-through sites, so it was great. We stayed hooked up because there's nothing around to go exploring. So the sunset there was amazing to a Northern Territory, and it was pretty cheap per night as well. They had the pool.
Just a good little
really
spot.
Good.
Just a good little experience.
The second people that have mentioned this place, because we spoke to Kyle and Ayla not so long ago, actually, when they did their trip from WA across, and they also mentioned the exact same place at Barclays there. So it sounds like it is very, very much a must-do stop.
It's amazing. It's it really is. It was a good feeling to go somewhere for our first, I guess, sightseeing NT to see that. It was really good. So from there, we hit the Stewart Highway and
had a long drive. 9 hours in the car.
Now there's a few places that you can stay, obviously, before you hit Alice Springs. Now, I guess having 2 children, it's a little bit different. We've obviously got them to think about, and they always come first. So if we don't kind of get a good feeling about places and we feel like that, well, look, we have to look after our children, right? So, you know, we stopped in at a few places. We stopped in at Tennant Creek and we got fuel there. We obviously want to support every single town that we go to, that's our thing. You know, we want to go to the bakeries, we want to go to the whatever butchers there,
Coffee
and
all the time.
we go to every coffee shop. I guess it's but if we just don't get that feeling like we want to stay there, we just keep driving. And we passed through a few places. We stopped in at Devil's Marbles, which was absolutely amazing. So that's just the rock formations. Really, really cool. Such an amazing spot. There was, I forget what it was called, but
the alien caravan park?
There's an alien. It's the UFO capital of Australia.
I think it is.
And look, apologies,
awesome.
but I can't remember what it was called.
I can't remember what it was either.
But that was really cool, really quirky. But we decided just to keep going straight to Alice Springs. Just so we could basically get the kids into a caravan park and get them settled. So we ended up in Alice Springs.
And we stayed at the Big Four. That was incredible, wasn't it?
It was awesome.
It was amazing.
For us, obviously being on the road full time, and we do work on the road full time, if we have an opportunity to stay somewhere that the kids are happy, we've got good internet, there's everything around us. We'll end up staying for a while because we don't really have an end date, so we're not in a rush to get from place to place. So we ended up staying in Alice for 2 weeks. Now Alice, absolutely amazing town. It was really cool. It was really different.
Big eye opener. It was beautiful.
Absolutely
beautiful.
It really was. You drive into there and just the rock formations and the scenery and
the gap going into through the town with the big mountains either side, and you got the road going through it. Oh, it was gorgeous.
Like old school, like Wild West. Like that's just the rock for like the Rockies and stuff like that. Like it was just amazing, and you're just blown away. And I guess we kind of forgot to say that how much the scenery does change from Cairns all the way through to the border, and then even going south is just amazing. Every 100 Ks, every couple of 100 Ks it's something different, and it's just so amazing to see. This country just never stops surprising everywhere you go. So we did a lot in Alice. We did the Ormiston Gorge. We did Stanley Chasm, which is basically a gap in between two mountains, but it is just breathtaking.
Stanley or Simpson's Gap?
Oh, which one was Stanley?
Gap. Stanley was the big sandstone formations.
Which one?
The big, you're going that, the Gap.
The Gap.
Yeah, there's a few gaps
There's a few gaps, but that one was breathtaking. That one was really cool. And
we're all gorged out, I tell you.
So many gorges. Ormiston was lovely. There was a little bit of water. You could swim there. The water temp was just perfect.
20-degree day, though. It was pretty cold.
It was very strange. We were there for obviously 2 weeks. One day it was 20 degrees. The next day it was 44. It was very inconsistent with the weather, which was fine for us. I mean, it didn't rain. It was good. It's good going from a 44 day where you're kind of sweating to a really nice day the next day, nice and cool. So we did the Simpson Gap as well. Obviously, we went to all the Alice Springs signs. There's a lot of like Red Center signs.
Red Center Way,
around there. We went to the Alice Springs Desert Park. That was absolutely amazing. That was
great.
A self-guided a desert park. It's a zoo. It's basically a zoo, and it's a self-guided. So you just walk around a really long track, and they've got emus. They've got heaps and heaps of birds.
But all of a sudden, you're like at one enclosure, and then there's it's called Sand Country, and you're just walking through all this red dirt, and there's all like bush tucker along the sides that you can see just growing, and then all of these animals everywhere, like in the red dirt. We literally felt like we were walking through the outback by ourselves. It was just amazing.
It was absolutely amazing. There was a really
for the kids too, to be able to have that safe but real experience, another educational experience on the road. It's just awesome.
And there was so much walking, so they were super tired at the end of the day,
Even better.
That's what we want to do. There was a really awesome feature about that park, and that was they have a nighttime exhibit. So basically, you walk into this
nocturnal,
this big, I guess, what would you
Dark
call it?
room.
Just a big, massive, dark room.
Yeah.
And you get to experience all the nocturnal animals. So there's little blue lights everywhere, so you can see where you're going. And there was probably about maybe 40, 50 different exhibits of all the nocturnal animals that you probably wouldn't really get to see them in the wild. Obviously, most people wouldn't really go searching for them at nighttime, and to see the animals that come out,
bilbies, snakes, spiders,
bats, and everything. Like, it was so amazing, and the kids just loved it, just running around this dark room with all these creatures everywhere. It was really cool. And then after that, we did the Road Transport Hall of Fame.
Oh, Kobe just loved that.
He loved his trucks
everywhere. Tractors, trains, cars.
It was
buses.
So cool. It was so cool. So much
Yep.
history of just, as
All
Molly said, all the transport, which was awesome. And just near there is the airport, and a really, really, I guess it's mixed emotions. They ground all the planes there that obviously have not been able to fly, all the international planes. And they obviously keep them there because of the heat and they don't rust. And there was a couple of hundred, or maybe not a couple hundred.
I think there was 50, but it can actually hold up to 100.
It can hold up to 100, and there was about 50 planes, and it was just all
the international planes.
Such a weird sight,
running.
but so cool at the same time. Obviously you feel sorry for the planes not being in the air doing what they're supposed to do, but that's obviously the world that we're in right now. But that was a really, really cool sight. And then look, basically that was Alice. There's so much to see and do. There's those gorges. Basically, there's a strip of them, and
down Red Centre Way,
and it's roughly about maybe 200 kilometers
to get to Ormiston.
And then every, say, 30 to 40 kilometers, there's a different turnoff that you can take to go to Ormiston, Stanley,
there's about
Simpson.
9 different gorges on that road.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That's through the West McDonald Ranges, it's called.
Yes.
And then, so when did we leave Alice?
Yeah, we left Alice
2 days ago. 2 days ago?
Yeah, this is day 3 from Alice.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, God. Yeah.
And we left Alice, and we were going to go to Kings Canyon. Now, Kings Canyon is meant to be absolutely amazing. The road from Alice to Kings Canyon, so the turnoff, there's about 100 kilometers of unsealed road, and about 30 kilometers of it is supposedly terrible. So we decided to go straight to Uluru, where we are now, and we're going to Kings Canyon the other way, because you can go a sealed road the other way, which is 300 kilometers from where we are right now on a sealed road. So we're going to do that on Tuesday.
We'll do 2-3 nights, at Kings Creek Station. I think we'll go, not the resort one. We'll go to Kings Creek Station. We'll wake up for sunset and do the rim walk. I can't wait.
But we got to Uluru yesterday.
And Ayers Rock is pretty much right there.
And we really, really wanted to do this interview with Uluru behind us. And we went up to the lookout, and we took the laptop, we took the table, but it was so windy.
And we were flies everywhere.
There was flies everywhere. But look, here we are in the van in Uluru, and we went to the rock yesterday, and it was absolutely breathtaking. It was one of the best things that we've ever experienced.
Emotional.
It really just brings something out in you that you don't know just the feeling of being there. A lot of people.
Such a trademark place to go in Australia. Like, everyone wants to see Uluru.
Yeah. I mean, look, we're in the center of Australia at this just beautiful part of the world, and a lot of people say it's a very spiritual place, and obviously there's a lot of history behind it, and it's just so amazing. So we're here at the campground. We've got a few things lined up. We've actually got Molly's parents here. They arrived yesterday, which was really, really awesome.
So we haven't seen my parents in 5 months. So they flew here to Uluru to meet us. We actually did a go live yesterday when we got to the rock, and I was so emotional on it because we were standing literally at the front of the rock. And then all of a sudden we see mum and dad's plane fly over, and I was on the live with Brent, and I'm just like bawling my eyes out because I'm about to see my mum and dad, and there's Uluru, and it's just so
much. So today,
mum and dad
that video was, I have seen it. Anybody who hasn't seen it, hop onto Lifestyle Hustlers, Molly and Brent's Facebook page. You've got to watch it. Yeah, very emotional, Molly. I was feeling for you, but just being there, the extraordinary sight of Uluru, the sheer vast, it's big. I mean, we've been taught this our whole lives. We know it's iconic, it's very spiritual and very special to the local Indigenous people. But when you're there, it's just something even more so. I think all Australians,
it really changes. It changes so much. The closer you get to it, I mean, you see it from a distance, and the sheer size is just amazing. And it's red, and it changes with the sun as well. And
there's different waves of rock and different caves throughout it. Then you see all the hand paintings from all the Indigenous, like in different sections. There's like a spot that looks like a bell, and you can't take photos of that part. Obviously, you got to respect it. It's their sentimental part of the rock. But seeing that, it's just incredible.
It's just amazing. Absolutely the different colors of it. It's about a 10-kilometer walk around. So we've actually got electric scooters. So we're going to chuck the kids on the electric scooters, and we're going to scooter around. I'm really hoping that the in-laws aren't watching this, but
I hope not.
Should we just drop it? We've kind of surprised them with a helicopter flight this afternoon at about 3:30. So the 4 of us and the 2 kids are going to jump on the helicopter, and we're going to go around the big rock. After this interview, actually, we're on our way to the Olgas, which is another rock formation that just looks absolutely amazing. So we're going to take a lunch out there, and we're going to have a lunch out there.
After the helicopter, we're going to go get some cheese and bickies where we were going to do this interview. You can watch the sun go down over it. So we just amazing. We're here till Monday, but I think we're going to extend a few nights after, and then do Kings Canyon, and then make our way down to SA.
So that's been our trip from Cairns to here.
A month. Last month.
To the tablelands, from the lush green cold tablelands through to the red centre. And I know Shana had a quick question before about when is the best time to go, and this is quite an interesting question because the weather completely changes as we've spoken about across the Savannah Way, and you do have to take into consideration the wet season, which of course we're heading to now for northern Queensland, certainly. So, I know certainly that people love going year round, but depending on how you're travelling and where you're wanting to go and what you're wanting to see and do, it really does it depend on those factors as to when's the best time for you to go.
Definitely. A little kind of good observation, what we found out last night. Molly's parents have been here before, and they came in winter. They came in July, and they showed us a photo, and Molly's mum was like head to toe wrapped up, covered because it was minus four
in winter.
So I guess you're exactly right. It just all depends what you want to experience. I personally think, obviously, this is the first time that we've been here, but the weather is perfect right now. It is absolutely perfect. It's not too hot. It's not too cold.
But the season for travellers, we'd planned to be in SA by now. The season for travellers is, summer, you head south winter, summer. You go up. So usually people do it no later than September. I'd say September, red centre, because then it does get very hot.
And then obviously the wet season, as you mentioned, which can severely.
But it's only unbearable if you don't have aircon. I think
you got somewhere to go back to that's nice and cozy and cool.
And there's a pool here.
We are just so incredibly grateful for your time. I hate wrapping things up because I could totally go on for another hour, but we've already had your attention for 45 minutes. So thank you so much for sharing incredible journey. I love watching you guys. I love watching your journey on your Facebook page, Lifestyle Hustlers. We're also going to go ahead and pop in our comments here a link to your latest travel episode, which really does encompass everything we've spoken about along the Savannah Way. So everybody can pop on there and have a really good watch of that. I'm excited about it.
Thanks so much. Really appreciate it.